Welcome to Just Beachy with Deb
and Wendy.
Growing up in the 70s in our Toronto Beach neighborhood was a time unlike any other. Bell-bottom pants, high handlebars and banana seats, water buffalo sandals, crazy adventures, and home with the streetlights. We have lots of stories to share.
So sit back and join us as we reminisce about the people and the times that shaped our lives. We're just Beachy, Deb and Wendy. Sit back and relax again. We're so astounding, 'cause we're just Beachy. Let's do the 70s again.
Well, that was special too. Every week we get a special opening from Wendy. Thank you.
My ode to Rocky Horror.
Yes, it's that time. Tomorrow is, well, we're recording on Wednesday.
Right.
All Halloween. Well, by the time people hear this on Friday, it'll be over. But we're excited. Tomorrow's Halloween.
Yeah, and I don't get to give out here in the apartment, which is kind of sad because I used to love marching with kids, although they never came to the house, as I spoke about in another podcast. But
yeah,
even just when the kids were small and dressing them up, I can remember one year we made Katie the Stave Puft Marshmallow Man. And Andrew was a Ghostbuster, of course, and I think Amy was a princess that year. Kirsty was nowhere in sight at that point, and we had some good times.
I have to tell you, I have two sons in their 30s, and they're always Ghostbusters at Halloween. They have professional quality Ghostbuster costumes.
Oh, that's cool.
They're more like, cosplay, and they've got really, really good. The thing that they have in the back with the thing that makes
the proton pack.
That one, yeah. So, and they've got, they really worked hard. Simon did a lot of DJing on Halloween, and he'll probably wear it to the store tomorrow.
Oh, that's fun. We're doing a Zoom call at work, and people can dress up, but I'm just not.
Oh, come on! It's Halloween.
I have nothing. If I had maybe a house coat, I just go
with my mom. Get some curlers, dye your hair red.
Yeah, no,
smoke,
I'm not into
bring a pack of cigarettes and a coffee.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom.
And an old telephone, just hold up to me.
That's right.
That's true.
Flickers ashes everywhere. I have a wedding tomorrow, so I think I'm dressing up. But I wear the same thing every Halloween. I have my funeral cloak over my Claire Duds, but I think I might nip into Spirit Halloween to see if they have these people are goth. So I'm going to see if I can do something goth.
Well, and the one nice thing too, yay, we gained an hour's sleep this weekend, is driving home though on Halloween, knowing it's not dark and you don't have to worry about little kids, out on the streets already, right? It's still daylight for me anyways when I come home, so I don't have that fear of issues of little kids. So
yeah, I'll be in Niagara Falls, and that's usually really fun on a Halloween afternoon.
I could imagine. For sure.
Mm-hmm. We have chatted about Halloweens of old, but we were talking about some of the things that we did when we were a little bit older in the 70s, and experiences that we had. And so I guess I can begin if you like.
Sure.
Starting about when I was at the formerly known school named Ryerson.
What is it called now?
Toronto Metropolitan University.
Oh, really?
I know.
Oh, I would never know that was Ryerson.
But it is, TMU. It's very politically correct. And I understand why, but I still call it Rye High. So I was at Rye High. And our friend JJ, whom we haven't yet talked about, but because he was edited out because it was about Christmas. So we'll talk about him near Christmas. But with his Christmas ball from Newfoundland. But he was just such a constant figure in our lives in those Ryerson years. He was in radio, television arts, and I was in journalism, and we had a lot of fun together, just roaming the streets of Toronto in the 70s. And so Halloween comes around, and he decides it would be an interesting thing to go to the Brunswick House. I'm waiting for audience reaction as I say that, because anybody who knows the Bruns knows that it is the most eclectic, weird place on the planet. But they were known for their really strange events and themes. And so, of course, Halloween, I drank a lot of green beer. They were like, I lost count, and I wasn't even a drinker, but they're little tiny draft bottles, the glasses, kind of that fit in your hand, and
like the A&W ones.
Yeah, gone before you knew it. I had a green tongue for days. And now this is going to be a little politically incorrect, but there were many events there that evening. There were, as I recall, there was a dartboard, and that was kind of lame. But at one point, when everybody had way too much green beer, they had a contest to see who could throw a little person all in a little harness the farthest. Somebody volunteered to do that, and we would, of course, now there'd be picketers and protesters, but
oh my gosh,
as
yes.
God is my witness, this actually happened. And so the little person was all bubble wrap and very protected, and lots of layers. Somebody would step up, and he had a handle on the side of his. He had a handle, and people would pick him up in the handle and they would fling the poor guy on just really soft. It was like bowling or something. I forget now. That was too much green beer, but it was like something kind of John Garp, The World According to Garp. It was like I was literally in a novel of surreal things. It was so bizarre, and so we had enough of that after a while. I was actually quite upset about it. So. Even back then,
Toronto in the 70s.
Oh my God! So it's Halloween night in Toronto, and it's getting darker. And we've had quite a bit of beer, and so we were walking down Yonge Street, and everybody's in costume. It's like another. It stands out in my mind as like a really an aspirin-induced dream or a fever dream, like when you're not feeling well and you have all those really weird dreams. It was. I'll never forget it. I had a run in my stocking, and I was really focused on that. Like, what? I gotta run. And, we're passing people dressed up like creatures, and it looked like a Jim Henson set in one place. And everybody was having a great time. They were all in the street drinking, having fun. And I'll never forget that. And we got the streetcar home. I can't remember if we dressed up or not. I feel like we were just sort of witnessing the whole thing.
Were you living at home at this time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. JJ would always walk me home on the streetcar all the way home to the beach.
True.
In the middle of the night, he'd be heading back to the campus where he was in residence. But, it sort of have to come in, have some coffee, talk to Mom for 2 hours, and then leave.
And then she let
Mom loved him. Oh, she loved him a lot.
Or she probably even sent him home in a taxi if she had the funds too. I imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Some nights, right?
Yeah. No, he never took a taxi. He was poor. We were poor students. Yeah. We drank a lot of green beer though, but it was so cheap. It's like 25 cents a glass.
Gosh, that would have been an experience.
Big trays of green beer coming your way. Oh my God! And flinging little people. That was really. I know. Even saying it.
It doesn't seem right. Or real, right?
It was real. I was there. Yeah. I don't know how long that practice happened on Halloween's at the Brunswick House, but yeah, maybe, I don't know. I guess the person seemed willing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is so bizarre, man.
Consent was given.
Yeah, I probably had to sign a waiver. If there was such a thing back then.
Can't even imagine. Probably for a lot of beer he did it.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe a submarine sandwich or something.
Well, I can remember a Halloween school dance I went to at Melbourne, and it was the first date I had with this guy, and I can't think of his name now. And but my usual costume. I went out as a hobo. Oh
yes, the hobo.
Went back to Mr. Jaffrey, our neighbor, and borrowed a pair of his pants and did the whole hobo thing. And I can't remember what my date was dressed up as. But I went to the dance with him, and two of his best friends, and they went as Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy.
Oh.
And they were really cute. And I just could not get into this dance because I was so self-conscious all night on how I looked and didn't feel like having fun. It's just like, and I was a bit of a downer. I don't think I ever went for a second date with this guy, but
Aw.
yeah, it was just my days of being, vain.
See, you should have gone as a princess. You should have.
I know.
Come on.
I could
Or
have
if you're
gone
a faucet.
I know. I don't know what I was
I
thinking.
know.
I just went for the easy way out. But yeah, it didn't end up being a fun night. But a fun night was going to your place or to your ex's place one night before you guys were married, and probably late 70s, maybe early 80s. But going as Magenta to an adult Halloween party because would have been in your 20s, right?
I was old.
So I'd be about 16 or 17 and doing the hair, doing the whole, magenta phase. And I found the perfect dress. I don't even know where I got this dress from, but it just all came together. And that was a lot of fun going up there.
We were like the next street over and up, right? We're on Waller.
Yeah.
So in a little tiny semi-detached. We never heard the people next door. Now that I think about it, but we had crowds over all the time. Russ had a big, huge aquarium that was filling up with beer caps, and with the intention of recycling them. That was the whole thing. And one time, when our friends were getting married, the groom had a Mini, and as a prank, the guys. They carried the Mini up onto the little porch, the front porch. So they parked it on the porch and they filled it with all of these beer caps. It was a really not nice prank to a really nice guy.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. The brute strength of men in their 20s. But we had some great parties. We had, the usual gang, and always had darts going in the back, and there's always at least a case of beer in the fridge. And
I don't think Mom would have let me have gone had it not been your party, right? There's no way.
And they were pretty tame. I mean, we didn't get up to much, and good music, always good music.
Good music.
Yeah. I think I was a little old lady that time. Had a wig
you could
on.
have been.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Every year I transformed into something obscure. But yeah, that was fun. We had a lot of good times. We had a lot of good parties there. It was really the party house, and then friends, started to have babies, and not able to be as party conscious as they used to be. But I do remember, and if Kimmy's listening, I do remember a party that we went to, and I'm not quite sure where it was now, but one of our dear friends who was like big and tall and bulky, very muscular kind of guy. He came in a trench coat, and when he opened it up, he had a very large salami where anatomically not correct, but it was, I'm not even sure. And he was really annoying people. And, I'm in my 20s at this point. I'm a burgeoning feminist, and I'm getting really upset with him because he thought it was hilarious. He kept, doing stuff with it. And dear Kimmy, I'll never forget, she had enough, and we were chatting in the kitchen, and she opened up the silverware drawer. She grabbed a knife and she cut the salami in half. We all stood there inwardly celebrating, but kind of shocked. He didn't know what to say. He didn't know what to say. Oh my God. She said, I can't even remember what she said, but it was like, she was like Xena. She was like a warrior, It's so unlike her, gentle soul that she is. Yeah, I'll never forget that. But yes, we all applauded. We were all thinking it.
Jeez.
Yeah. Really wild Halloween parties of the past when I was a little bit older.
It must have... Probably was more fun when you could drink.
Yeah.
I don't think I went to Halloween parties where I was old enough to drink. So I
never drank that much. I might have had a beer It was just we just had a fun
Except
group.
for your Brunswick night house.
Well, the Brunswick, but I wasn't a drinker. That was the thing. I had a green tongue forever, but and probably it didn't help the whole realistic thing that I was watching. But it was kind of like floating down Yonge Street. I remember floating, and worried about the run of my stocking, and just in the dark, these strange people coming up to you into your line of vision, and like, whoa, it's like, yeah. I had a wild youth. What can I say?
I've been watching. My daughter likes watching this YouTube guy, and what a job to have. He lives in Japan, and he gets to do all the stuff at Universal and Disney, at all the theme parks, and he gets in free. But he was doing some of the Fright Nights that they offer. Even he actually even flew to, I think, Florida to Disney World, and doing the Fright Nights that they do for October. I don't know how people do this. I cannot. I'm such a wimp. I can't walk through these haunted houses, even like Niagara Falls, right? My kids have done maybe one or two, and there's like, no, I'll just wait up here. Thanks. You guys go do what you want to do. Like, I don't like the guys to be frightened.
We were in Lindsay, so the guys were little when we did a weekend in Niagara Falls, in the 90s at some point. And so we're there. I don't want them to go in by themselves, but they're really gung-ho to go into Dr. Frankenstein's place or whatever, the green one up at the top of the hill. It's still there. And I said, I don't know, guys. And they're like, we're going to go in. And, okay, well, I'm going to come with you. And they just breezed through it. They were like, yeah, this is nothing. And I got lost at one point. It was so dark. It kept bumping into all these woolly things. And there were people that were jumping out at you. And I felt if my heart rate, it would have been like, my smartwatch would have thought I was working out. I mean, my pulse would have been enormously high. But I did not enjoy it at all and was glad to get out into the light. And I thought, how can people work there in the dark all day? Yeah. All day. It's and it's spooky sounds.
No.
I like Spirit Halloween though. If people have gone there, have you been there?
Not for a couple of years, but yeah, we used to go in.
I enjoy it because there's the animatronic creatures that greet you, and some of them are pretty gory. And I always seem to end up with a little kid who's looking at it like what is that, and talking them down. It's not real. Where's your mom? It's not real.
Even when it comes to horror movies, no, give me a nice romantic comedy like While You Were Sleeping.
Oh yeah,
Listen in Seattle. When Harry met. I'm into those kind of movies, but I cannot watch horror films.
Oh, I can't either. I cannot. When I was like 18, I read The Exorcist. And I ended up. It was before that because Dad was still alive. It was like I must have been like 13, and all the people, all my friends from school went, and I said no, I'll read the book. And I actually camped out at the foot of their bed for like a week. I was terrified. I can't do the horror thing. The closest I come to horror is Young Frankenstein. That's kind of my speed.
Yeah, and Terry Garr passed away. That's really sad. I don't think I've ever seen that movie, but now I feel like I need to.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great movie. You haven't seen it?
No.
Cloris Leachman is in it. Oh my God. It's the best cast. Oh, you have to. I've got a copy. I've got DVD. We'll have to watch it. Jean used to quote it all the time. Because Cloris is going up the stairs playing her violin. People know the scene. And she goes, he was my boyfriend. And Jean used to just say that every now and then out of the blue. It was just floating through her head. And she would say it. We'd stop and laugh and watch the movie. But it's a great movie. Mel Brooks. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's a classic. That and Blazing Saddles.
I don't know why I haven't. Maybe it just wasn't my age group at the time. Like when it was out. I don't know.
Oh, that could be. It could be, but it's been around for like 50 years, so you might want to see it.
Listening to the Bay City Rollers.
Well, that's what it was.
Hanging around the recording studio. Who knows?
Yorkville. I drove by Yorkville last week. I didn't know it. It's all like glitz and glass and all the spaces. There's nothing like the the lilting front lawns in the 70s where we could sit and play guitar and, be flower children. Nothing like that. It's
Peace
all
out, man. Peace out.
peace out, man. Well, the chimney or the riverboat. It was the riverboat. The chimney was another place at the time. But the riverboat used to have all kinds of folkies come and play that were, Dan Hill was there. I have to ask Judy. We saw so many people that were just about to be discovered or just being discovered. And, you always, I'm sure Joni Mitchell played there and other people. It was kind of the hot spot in Yorkville.
And I don't remember any of
it. It was a coffee house. It was a coffee house. You had to drink coffee.
You kind of like did the snapping too, like
yeah, probably
the beatnik thing.
I think I put this on the post last week. We grew up in the best time for music. Big bands, Andrew Sisters, all that stuff was great. But we were in the happening generation. Mm-hmm. All the music, all the creative geniuses of our time that made music. Yeah, it was the soundtrack of our life, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I went through many phases in the 70s of all the different music that I liked, and probably started with the Carpenters. I think a lot of what you liked, I liked. You made a big impression on me, on the music.
You were forced to listen to it.
Right? But the Carpenters, Anne Murray, I mean, we'll have to do another podcast on just this alone because there's so much that we listened to. And it was great. And we, and we listened to Mom's music. Like we had a wide variety of music going on in that house.
Yeah.
And you were, and you still are, you're an epic songwriter. And you wrote so many wonderful songs back in the day, even before Dad passed away. And they were, some really heavy, serious songs. Like, where the heck did that come from? And some were so fun and silly, right?
Got my pig in a road to town.
That's right. Sticks out in my head. Got
Dad
my
like that
pig
one.
in a road to town.
Yep.
Grain how bus was eastbound. And I don't know why I remember the words after all these years. Like your Pantyhose Blues song, which is epic. You will have to sing one night. And you couldn't remember the words, but I sang it back to you one night.
That's right.
I found
I found the original songs in a folder.
They're great.
Yeah, they're fun.
And in previous podcasts, we talked about, our grandfather loved to hear us sing. And so we used to harmonize a lot, like Madison Avenue. Is that the right song?
Yeah. Actually, it was an Ian Thomas song. Yeah, America made it famous. Right Before Your Eyes.
Right Before Your Eyes. And we used to do the Andrew Sisters. We did Olivia Newton-John. We did Anne Murray. We did the Carpenters. And
all the sucky songs of the 70s.
All of them. The heart-wrenching Top of the World. That was a
Have you never been mellow, Wendy? Have you never been mellow?
Then I got into Donovan for a little while.
Oh, God, he was depressing.
He really was.
Poor little Irish guy. What happened to him?
Actually, he turned up on my Facebook today that he's like 79 years old now.
I know.
It's crazy.
Terry Garr. I know. All of our heroes, my holy trio, James Taylor and Carole King and Carly Simon. I mean, they're over 80 now.
It's crazy.
National treasures. Oh, I follow Carole King. She's really into politics.
Well, and I think as we listen, and these songs will never tire.
I know.
I don't know any current song out there right now. Like, I couldn't tell you, but I listen to Boom, and it's the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and they're just the songs I relate to, and the songs that just age so well.
They do. They really do.
And I know this has nothing to do with Halloween, but
okay. We're passionate about this, man. We're passionate about music. Yeah, it's been. I mean, I can't even tell you. Judy and I used to joke that we knew the first song line of every song ever written, and we do. We didn't know the second or the third, and I couldn't find the chords, but we gave it a good try a lot. Yeah. But we should get the band back together. That'd be fun.
Oh, that would be fun. We could do a live. And not
Yeah,
individual.
we would have to be in one place, jamming. That would be fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe we can plan it for next summer here.
That could be so much
The
fun.
first invitational jam.
But we did that a lot, eh? Like the guitars would just come out and, you just start to sing and everyone would join in. And
Yeah.
and it was, community. It was a lot of fun. And I was speaking to someone today, just about community and how we've talked about before with neighborhoods and growing up in the 70s, ours was a true community. And, and we talked about the open backyards where everybody could see each other. Front doors were never locked. All mothers knew if their kids weren't at their place, well, they're probably at this place. Right?
That's right. There were no cell phones back then. It was all intuition. Yeah.
They'd maybe knock at the door and say, "Hi, is Scott here?" or whatever. And it's like, "Guys, upstairs," or whatever. But and I think that's, when we were younger and we did go trick or treating, that's what made our street so great is, you wanted to dress to impress.
Yeah. Right? Well, everybody, you go up to, and they make so much of you. Oh, look at you. You look so great. I mean, I was 10 when we moved to Scarborough Road, so I was getting on the cusp of being a little bit too old, but I gave it a good try for at least a year or two. Or I would walk with you. If, if there wasn't a parent available, I would go with you.
Yes.
As the responsible older sister. And Agatha All Along, if you haven't watched it yet, see WandaVision first. It's on Disney, the channel. It is the best. If you want a really good, feel-good Halloween kind of thing that isn't scary, I love it. She's wonderful. Agatha Harkness is the character, but it's Catherine Hahn who plays her. Great cast. Patti LuPone is on it.
Well, I actually, just bringing that up too, like Halloween movies, you have Hocus Pocus, but I mean, growing up, Charlie Brown, right? It's a great pumpkin, Charlie
It's
Brown.
It's the great pumpkin sitting in the Ernest Pumpkin Patch.
Yes.
I wonder if Linus is still there this year.
And I got a rock.
I got a rock. Poor Charlie Brown. I got a rock. Yeah, we had Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good non-scary. I did get Hocus Pocus 2. I have that on DVD, which is the one that they came out with last year. And I have the Sanderson Sisters Cauldron. It's a coffee cup, which I will use tomorrow in honor of them.
But I did, although I don't shell out, I did buy some Halloween candy.
Oh, you
have to, right?
You have to. You got to do it.
It's like standard issue.
It's like, the feast of the festival.
But it was like, do I go the Snickers M&M box this year, or do I do the Kit Kat Oreo coffee crisp? So I actually went for the Snickers.
I would get them both. I would just, what's the decision? Just get them both.
Yeah, but there's only my daughter and I here, and
taking her to work. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, it's better here.
89 packages of Smarties later.
I do want to give a shout out to Kathy for naming the members of our Facebook group, Beach Brigade. What a great name.
That is great. We had a lot of really good suggestions, and thank you everybody for throwing in your suggestions. They were fun.
The Beach Brigade is perfect because it suits everybody, and
it does.
So I will be meeting up with Kathy next week and giving her tote bag. So Deb and I were now in the process of thinking what can be our next contest. So maybe we'll have a before Christmas giveaway.
Ooh, that sounds good.
You're supposed to know about this. Don't act like it's a surprise.
Oh. Hey, that's a really good idea, Wendy. I thought so when we talked about it earlier, too. We'll have a giveaway before.
So if anybody has any suggestions on what could be fun to do as a giveaway, and and all the interaction we're getting on the Facebook page is so much fun.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking of things that I've totally forgot about, like the Great Lash Mascara from Maybelline. Like that has been around for how long? Do you remember Charlie perfume?
I do.
I can still smell it. It was the strongest.
And they call it Charlie.
I don't know.
Just
maybe we
Christmas.
all take on a recipe. I don't know.
We get a recipe card.
It would have to be, it'd have to be just show photos.
That would not be good. I do not bake,
No,
but I
no,
could. I
that's
would
true.
applaud. I would be the mascot.
But you
I'd be
can't find a tote bag anyways.
No, I can't. And we have some new tote bags in, and just Beachy pens.
Ooh, Nelly.
Yeah, it's a little surprise.
And Deb also showed me an early Christmas present she got me, and it's a
that didn't come yet.
No, but
Groovy pillow.
Groovy pillow.
Yeah,
which would be so groovy.
It's gonna be groovy.
We don't even have to wrap it because I know what it is.
I know. Well, I'm gonna wrap it anyway because it's a present.
Okay. Happy Halloween.
All right. Sing us out. Sing us out.
Just Beachy with Deb and Wendy. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Ooh. Thank you for listening.
Goodbye.